If you've been thinking about a portfolio checkup, but would like to know more about what is included in these sessions, that's reasonable. Just ask for our checkup checklist. It shows you what Steve covers in the checkup and what documents are useful to gather up. Just call 888-99-CHART. That's 888-992-4278. Or if you're there at the computer, just go to investtalk.com and click on Contact Us, and then just tell us that you want the checklist. We'll send it to you by email. Or if you'd like a copy of Steve's special report called Supercharging Your Portfolio, call the same number. That's 888-99-CHART. And thanks for listening to our podcast. For the next hour, the discussion is about making the most of the money meant for your retirement. This is Invest Talk, made possible today and every day by Klein Pavlis Peasley Financial. KPP is a professional money management firm dedicated to minimizing risk and maximizing opportunities for profit. Now, KPP President, Registered Investment Advisor Steve Peasley.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Invest Talk. It's a daily program all about we discuss investments, stock market investments, stocks, bonds. We'll talk about anything that deals with money, homes, real estate. It works best, though, when we share the talking. The real reason for the discussion is to help all of us make better choices with our money. It's important since we're using our assets to grow to get to retirement. We need to grow them as best as we can. The best way with taking the least amount of risk with the strongest returns achievable. And risk is very, very important. Taking risk, and we have to understand what the risks are that we're taking. What are the risks? Some stocks are a lot riskier than other stocks. Bonds have risk. Cash has risk associated with it. Don't think just sitting on cash, I'm not taking any risk. You are. You're risking it to inflation, are you not? It's inflation. Don't think inflation doesn't eat away at your money. It does. Putting money in a mattress, that 20 years from now, that money's going to be able to buy a lot less than it did 20 years before. There's risks. So, let's hear from you. What are your questions and concerns? What are you worried about? The lines are officially open, 888-99-CHART, 888-992-4278.
Weekends are a great time to visit our favorite website, investtalk.com. You can join in our blog, add your views to the buzz, and there are always more than a handful of self-help investing articles linked there on the homepage under Invest Talk Features. And you can even review the week's talking points and hear shows from the past 10 days. It's all there for you on investtalk.com.
888-99-CHART is our number, 888-992-4278. Today, we're going to be talking with author Terry Tenneman, a special advisor to Governor Schwarzenegger and former head of the California EPA. Terry Tenneman has been an architect of America's most progressive energy independence plans. His new book is called Lies Per Gallon, The True Cost of Our Oil Addiction. Not content to simply point out the problem with petroleum, Tenneman presents a blueprint for the solution. He shows how we can evolve beyond oil to products that are far cleaner and truly sustainable, more fuel efficient. We need those vehicles that are fuel efficient. We need them. Maybe biofuels and hydrogen fuel, other kinds of vehicles. So, Terry, thank you for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, the problem is oil's come way down and people are going to be short-sighted. I'm concerned about that because we need to keep focused on alternative fuels. We need it. Now, what are some of your ideas? How can we make it economically viable and desirable?
Well, first of all, I actually think people will remember this pain at the pump for quite a while. It's unlike the Arab oil embargo in '73, which was a geopolitical, artificial problem, and it went away as soon as the tap was opened up again. As the economy comes back, the demand for oil, especially refined fuels around the world, China, India, will skyrocket again. The prices will go right back up. And sure, in the short term, there may be some people who tend to forget that, but because of the weak economy right now, people are not rushing out buying gas guzzlers anyway, because even at $2 a gallon, if you have an inefficient car filling up your tank a couple times a week, you can't afford that, especially if you're out of work. So I do think that this time will be a little bit different.
I agree with you there, Terry. I think we have a permanent change in how people look at that. They want the hybrids as long as they can use them and they're go far enough and they're good. They want them.
That's right, and they're looking for the alternatives now. I mean, people don't know that, for example, there are hundreds of thousands of natural gas-powered vehicles in the country and stations that provide natural gas, just like what comes out of your stove, that can power your car. There are flex fuel vehicles, actually a couple million of those on the roads, and efforts to put in biofuel stations, as you mentioned. Now, ethanol, we've had some irrational exuberance around that, especially because of government misaligned incentives. And not all of the corn-based ethanol is all that good for the environment, let alone for our energy needs. But it's a step in the right direction that helps spur the development of vehicles that can run on biofuels, which then incentivizes companies to do things like creating ethanol from wood waste and farm waste. And, of course, I drive a hydrogen-powered car, and Honda, amongst others, have started to mass-produce those cars. And although there's a limited fueling infrastructure, that's something which I think many, many more people will start hearing about, because you can make hydrogen from just about anything. You don't need to have a refinery. You don't need a refinery for biofuels. You can make it literally in your own backyard from electricity and water.
The infrastructure is a problem on those things, because everybody can go down to the corner and fill it up with gas. You got diesel and gas. The different types of hydrogen. How are you going to convince people to do that when they can't really? There's no infrastructure to fill it up. Or natural gas, Terry. How are you going to do it with the natural gas?
Well, actually, and my wife drives a natural gas-powered Honda, the Honda GX. It's a standard off-the-shelf Honda that's available in a natural gas model. Ford makes the Crown Victoria. Again, you can just order that. It's not a specialized vehicle, really. GM makes vans and trucks in natural gas. So there's really quite a bit of fueling infrastructure. You do have to know where the stations are, get a little bit familiar and comfortable with it. But as people are looking for alternatives, whether it's the already fairly common natural gas or the so far uncommon hydrogen, but as those stations are built out, when you talk about infrastructure, a couple of months ago, Hurricane Ike damaged 5 of the 125 refineries we have in this country, and for weeks there were shortages, and damaged them actually pretty trivially, and yet for weeks there were shortages of refined fuels throughout the South, all the way as far away as Atlanta. There were lines for gasoline reminiscent of 1973. So when you talk about infrastructure, even what appears to be solid, well understood infrastructure for gasoline and diesel is not all that robust in our country anymore, given supply and demand. When there are geopolitical upsets and you can't get crude oil into refineries fast enough, there have been periodic shortages in California, Arizona. I talk about this in the book. So we are very close to not just running out of oil globally in the next 30, 40, 50 years, having sort of passed peak oil, as it's called, but the refined fuels are as much of a challenge in terms of infrastructure as it would be to be developing some of this new infrastructure for alternatives like plug-in electric hybrids, battery electric vehicles, hydrogen, and even biofuels.
Helen Crawford with me today. She's been poking me, wanting to ask a question.
Yes, yeah. Hi there.
Hi, Helen.
Hi. Yes, Steve and I have spoken about this subject